course, I will cover the topics. You will get more idea.
Okay.
Exactly how to configure these developers or how they are creating your certificates. So now you can able to work as a developer as well as the admin now. Okay.
Okay.
You can able to create a service. You can able to create a certificates. You can configure the certificate to the service. So you do all the things as a developer. Once you've done that, okay, we will initialize, set up the one more appliance, and assume that this is the dev box. We will set up the one more appliance QA, and we will see how we can able to promote the code from the one appliance to another appliance.
Okay.
Once we done the exercise, using the two appliance, we will see both appliance. We will assume that both appliances are in a QA. We set up the both appliance in a failover mode, clustering mode, and we will try to use it as a clustering concepts. How it's working for same code.
Okay.
Makes sense?
Yep.
Because even if you think if you think do two appliances in a clustering, you have to deploy the code in both appliances, right?
Right.
So that's what I'm trying to do. First,
Yep.
I'm trying to you want to develop the code and move the code into one appliance to another appliance, and make both appliances into the load balancer. Let's see how it's working. Okay.
Yep. Just one thing on that SSL. If you can just go a little bit more than just configuration, explain how it works. That would be good too, because I have very less knowledge.
That's what I am talking. I'm taking development course to you.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, if you're admin, you can able to create a certificate. It's a very simple step.
Okay. Okay.
If you are a developer, you can know a lot of things on that.
Yep.
So before going into that, today we will start with some developer basics. Okay.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. So developers, if you see the services, control panel services, right?
Yeah.
The services, what you see, web service proxy, multi-protocol gateway, XML firewall, web application firewall, and XSL accelerator. 5 icons you can see, right?
Right.
Out of 5 icons, only 3 icons is useful, which is web service proxy, multi-protocol gateway, and XML firewall. Nobody is using web application firewall. XSL accelerator doesn't make any sense for DataPower as of now. Okay.
Okay.
Even out of 3, XML firewall, we can use it for some simple things. But 2 main things is web service proxy and multi-protocol gateway.
Okay.
Even web service proxy and multi-protocol gateway is a priority 1. Web service proxy is priority 2.
Okay.
That's what you have to know from developer's perspective. Okay.
Okay.
Now let me explain you from XSL accelerator. What is XSL accelerator? The name itself it shows it's used for XSLT to do XSLT transformation. If the response coming back as XML and you want to display that XML response in an HTML page, then you can use the XSL accelerator.
Okay.
You mean what I say? You're receiving the XML response, but you want to display the XML content into HTML. Okay.
Right.
Then you can use XSL accelerator, but that's not the purpose for DataPower now.
Yeah, because it's mostly used for web services, right?
It's mostly used for SOA architecture and gateway.
Yeah.
So we are not going to use the GUI based concepts here.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And web application firewall, it's the same way. If you have any web application, right, WAS application and any Tomcat application running on the backside, you want to create a proxy for the web application and giving the end user to the proxy so that they can come through DataPower and access the GUI. That's what the web application firewall. So that also doesn't make sense to DataPower, right? Because it's a SOA appliance. Why do we need to connect the GUI through DataPower?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So the XML firewall XML firewall is an important one, but the features of XML firewall, it will support HTTP and HTTPS protocols only. Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't support any MQ, FTP, SFTP protocols.
SOAP, SOA or something, SOAP-based web service.
Only HTTP, SOAP-based.
Okay.
SOAP-based or REST-based, that's fine. SOAP or REST, that's fine. But HTTP, anything over HTTP.
Okay.
Or HTTPS. Okay.
Yep.
That's so basically these are the basic interview questions. What's the difference between XML firewall and service proxy or multiple? Okay, no, just keep a note on that. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but using a web server, if you want to invoke a backend through web server XML firewall, for example, we invoked a backend, the weather web service backend through XML firewall, right?
Yeah.
Did we use any WSDL?
No. Yeah, we did for that weather web service, WSDL.
SOAP UI, but think about the firewall. Did we use any WSDL? Did we configure any WSDL on the firewall?
Static backend, right?
Static backend is not a WSDL. It's a host name and port number.
Yeah, we did not use anything.
Just we tell what is the host name and what is the port number for that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it doesn't know what is the request format. It doesn't know what is the response format.
It's just a pass through, right?
It's not exactly a pass through, but you can able to do a processing policy because you can make a request as type as XML. That's okay. But in case, for example, the weather web service accepts only numbers 15143 or 1222. If you enter the Canada zip code, what happens is it's coming to DataPower and it's going to the backend service, and there it will validate against the WSDL request format and comes back with the response saying that invalid zip code. You got it? What I'm saying now?
Little confused, but
okay. Let me repeat it.
Yeah.
So through SOAP UI, you pass numbers in the zip code, weather web service.
Yeah.
You get the correct response.
Yeah.
If you pass the Canada code, zip code, it says invalid zip code.
Yeah.
So basically, okay, it says invalid zip code. Okay. So basically, assume that instead of invalid zip code, the condition is if you have the WSDL, if you have a condition, only accept integer, not string. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Assume that there you have some conditions in WSDL. Only accept integers, not string. So you're passing the string value in integer field.
Okay.
So does DataPower, as of now, the XML firewall is doing WSDL validation for you here?
No, the WSDL is done by the backend.
So what happens is it's taking your response based on your processing policy. It's executing your processing policy and it's going to the backend service, and there it's validate the request format. But you can able to do it here manually. But we can still able to do it here. But by default, the XML firewall, we don't need a WSDL to create XML firewall.
I see. Okay, I got your point. Yes.
Okay. So why we need a XML firewall which we don't, which is important for us, which it doesn't support a WSDL? Do you know the answer?
Well, because then when you give the WSDL to the client, it's not the endpoint, it will be the endpoint for the DataPower web service.
That's okay, but I'm asking, why do we have a XML firewall? Why are we giving a WSDL? So what's the primary reason to have the XML firewall which is not having a which is not support a predefined WSDL? based on my backend web service, why I need to check manually all the request and response schema based on my WSDL?
Yeah.
Is there any reason?
Proxy maybe? Security?
No, sir. Just think about it in a different way. So what are the different kind of web services available?
We have REST service, and then we have JAX WS.
No, that's fine. Only two, SOAP and REST.
Yeah.
So SOAP is basically a WSDL based.
Yeah.
If you have a RESTful service, do you have a WSDL?
No.
That's the reason. So
Okay.
if you create a firewall like one with the WSDL support, you cannot call the REST gateway,
I see.
REST services.
Okay.
So but basically in XML firewall, you can able to validate the WSDL manually as well. But still, same time you can able to access the RESTful web service, RESTful web service as well.
Okay.
That's the primary reason.
So it is more flexible.
Yeah, more flexible.
Okay.
But what is the disadvantage?
The disadvantage is that you don't have the WSDL, right? You let the endpoint do the.
That's not a disadvantage. It's flexible. It's a pro. But what's the concern here? What I told you. What are the protocols it support?
Oh, okay. So it only is support HTTPS and HTTP.
Yes, it support only HTTP and HTTPS. What in case your endpoint is going to be MQ or SFTP, FTP, something like that?
Right.
You cannot use it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So make sure and make a note down all those points. These are the points when will helpful when you make architectural decisions. Which service point where I need to use. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And why would you use? XML proxy firewall is good. I understand that. MPG, this one multi-protocol gateway has MQ and FTP and all that, which is good. Then why would you use web service proxy? What is the advantage?
That's a good question. That's what I'm coming to next.
Oh, okay, okay.
So web service proxy. Okay.
Yeah.
You have already predefined backend web service.
Yeah.
Which is running which is running for a decade in your organization.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to change anything.
Yeah.
Or you want to expose the WSDL based web services.
Okay.
Then, in that case, why you need to use XML firewall to validate all the WSDL based thing manually. For example, if you change the WSDL, if you change the service, if you upgrade the service, service version 1.0 to service version 1.1, XML firewall don't have the capability to upgrade itself. You need to come back here and you need to update the schema here. The latest schema to do the latest schema validation for the WSDL.
We didn't put any schema here though.
No. Here, no, I'm not saying. You can. In the service proxy policy, you can.
Okay.
If you want to do a validation on the schema, you can, for example, let's say you created a service, okay? For example, which returns a user address 1, address 2, state, city, zip. Okay. Now you have a go to the processing policy. In the processing policy, you have validate the schema, which is having 5 fields.
Okay.
Okay. In XML firewall, assume that what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that's okay. We are good now because in XML firewall we are validating the schema for service 1.0.
Okay.
Assume that you upgrade the service, which needs to return the customer's phone number as well. Phone 1, phone 2. So upgrading your WSDL. So now tell me, this XML firewall has the capability automatic update to that the newest schema. The new schema has 2 fields, phone 1, phone 2. So you have to manually go to the processing policy and you have to select the latest schema to validate.
Okay.
So every time you upgrade service, you have to do this thing.
Okay.
So for the SOAP, purely to support the SOAP-based functionality in the back end of the organization, which is called service governance, it's best way to use web service proxy.
Okay.
That is the one case. The second case is your web service wants to communicate with the MQ, or your web service wants to communicate. For example, how do you say? If you want to take the message from MQ and call the backend service. If you want to take the message from FTP, the inbound could be anything. Like the inbound protocol, like MQ based inbound, somebody sends a message to Q, somebody sends the messages to FTP directory, and somebody sends a message to HTTP. So basically, we can have multiple inbound, but the backend service is so based. XML firewall doesn't support that as well, right? So in that case, also web service proxy is a very good one to handle the SOAP-based service calls, having multiple inbound supporting protocol formats. Okay.
Yeah.
Then what is multi-protocol gateway? Why we are using it? Because web service proxy is purely WSDL based. We cannot do any REST calls. Okay.
Yeah.
But you can ask me. Still, I can do the REST calls in a policy. I can create a policy. I can call. That's possible in web service proxy. But if the backend is going to be your front end backend is going to be different protocols. Assume that.
Okay.
Your front end is MQ and backend is FTP. Your front end is FTP or backend is going to be MQ. That's not a web service proxy is going to be support for you. So it support what is available in the WSDL. So what is available in the WSDL and what is the endpoint defined in WSDL? You cannot change the endpoint in web service proxy. It will always use the endpoint in the WSDL, what is available in the WSDL.
Right.
But if you decide to choose the implement the dynamic solution based on the content or based on the requests coming from the client, I need to decide which service I need to call in the backend, and I need to decide I need to send the messages to HTTP or I need to send the message to MQ based on the requests coming from user. So I need the flexibility where I can see the support for different protocols as inbound and different protocols as outbound. At the same time, need the capability for making my decision to dynamically change the endpoint, which service I need to call, right? So that is why we have a multi-protocol gateway. You got it?
Yeah. So when you say inbound, that part I'm a little confused because usually when you say inbound, the way I see is like your client is a browser and the server is let's say regular server. So the client would be the web service client and server is where you run the actual web service. Here I'm a little confused. What do you mean by MPG in that setup? What is your client like?
So
you're saying
don't look at the GUI perspective. Look at the middleware perspective.
Okay.
Look at the middleware perspective. You are providing some middleware communication to business partners, somebody's. So for example, your company is talking to another company. For example, let me give a simple example. I have a bank. I'm working for a bank, which is Bank of America. So I need to talk to a Chase Bank. So I need to Chase Bank has the capability only sending the messages to the MQ because it don't want to have a thread keeping thread on HTTPS. For example, let me say simple example. you are using your Chase Bank debit card. You're going to Bank of America. I am telling you. Your Bank of America ATM, you are withdrawing your money. Okay? Then what Bank of America needs to send the Chase Bank, hey, this is the account number, this guy withdraws this money, this amount of money. Okay? If that transaction is going to be HTTPS, assume that how Bank of America is going to keep thread for once it makes a call to Chase Bank saying that $500 withdrawn, then Chase Bank finds your account and finds your card number and pull your account, detect the account. Everything has had to happen. Why should I hack? What the hell should I need to wait for the response coming back from you? What I'm going to do with the response? Chase client is taking the money from Bank of America. Why should I get the response from you? Why should I keep the threat live?
Okay.
Also, there's a possibility of failure. What if network has gone? You are invoking a service. The service is hanging, but you are requesting for the money, right? So the Bank of America called the Chase service. The HTTP is hanging, or the connection is not established. Your request is gone, right? So now assume that Bank of America sends a request to Chase Bank and forget about it.
Okay.
And Chase Bank process and parallelly Bank of America do all other things. So once Chase process the response and send back to you, and processes it and sends a response back to Bank of America, okay, that's fine. Okay.
But the user is me who's standing in the machine, putting the card, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You are putting the card.
Yeah. As soon as I put the card, Bank of America, they sent a message to Chase.
It's forget.
And forgets, right?
Yeah.
And then get the response and then says okay.
Yes, get the response says okay. So it's going to be in microseconds. We are talking about the response in microseconds.
Okay.
So assume that you are a customer. You are putting the card in Chase Bank of America ATM. And Chase Bank of America calls the Chase Bank through HTTP, or HTTP, and connection refused. You will get the response. You will get the response saying that internal error or connection refused. Something in your ATM machine. Will you be happy?
No.
It's totally forget about your transaction. You need to take your card out and insert your card back. You have to redo the transaction. So will you be happy?
No.
No. So this is for 0.00 for 1 second. Okay. And assume that if you make your transaction, the transaction is going to on MQ.
Yeah.
So MQ is persistence, message persistence. Even there's a failure happens, the retry will happen.
Yeah.
So it's a persistence. So instead of you are getting the response in 0.0001 second, the Bank of America ATM will get the response in 0.0004 seconds.
Okay.
Can you able to see any difference as a customer, as a user?
No.
But the thing, we are making you happy. We don't want to give error message to you. We don't want to totally forget about your previous transaction, and you don't want to create a new transaction.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So assume that way in middleware perspective.
So basically it's two business talking to each other, two server talking to each other.
Exactly. It could be a two business, it could be two different applications, it could be, that's how DataPower is a gateway. What is meant by gateway? Somebody is going to talk to you through internet. or some business partner is going to talk to you in a trusted way.
Okay.
So that is the gateway for your all your business needs. That's where the data power sits.
So that means in the scenario we talked about ATM machine from Bank of America to Chase Bank, you have data power in the middle. So data power might be, so there may be one queue defined that data power is listening to. It will listen and then, so this MPG may be sitting in between. On the input side, it listens, and then the output side, it might call Chase, right?
Yes, right.
Chase queue. Or if you don't have data power, then
I'm
the
not
direct
saying
link.
I am not saying the Chase and Bank of America is using data power. I'm
Just
giving
an
just
example.
example. Just
Just an
example.
idea. Yeah, but I'm trying to understand, like in a real life, how would you use these services, right? Data power
That's
services.
what I told you. The use cases, right?
Yeah.
These are the use cases. Forget about the Bank of America. My bank is using a data power for this purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, TD is using that for that purpose.
Mm-hmm.
All the IBM based companies are using the data power for that purpose. If the companies are not based on IBM, they are based on Oracle vendor, they are based on TIPCO vendor, they have their own product for gateway.
Mm-hmm.
They can able to use their product for the doing it.
Okay.
But in the market competitive,
Mm-hmm.
TIPCO, Oracle, or any other vendor cannot beat with data power now.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the IBM has the very good um, booming on data power.
Mm-hmm. So what do you mean by gateway? Like, is gateway standard terminology, or is it just
Gateway is the standard terminology.
okay?
Standard terminology. Gateway. What is mean by gateway?
Okay.
So gateway is the way where you get. It's a kind of gate for your house.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody wants to enter your house and going out to your house, you need a gate.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a path, right?
Mm-hmm.
So open the gate so that let them allow to your house. Then let them come into your house. For that's a gateway. For example, let me tell you the security. Simple example. You are living in a gated community apartment.
Mm-hmm.
Within your apartment, you have 10 different houses,
Mm-hmm.
which means all 10 different services. Assume that
Okay.
somebody coming from for pizza delivery,
Mm-hmm.
and somebody is trying to pizza deliver for your house, which is your service.
Yeah.
Then there's a security. There is a box outside the security key. They need to enter your key to open the gate for your home.
Yeah.
So they will press your apartment number. You will get notified, or some bell will ring on your apartment. So you press that, the gate will let them allow in.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the gateway for the users coming and going out.
Okay.
So assume that the same thing in a services perspective.
Okay.
There's a 10 different services, and somebody is coming to talk to one of the service,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a gateway will validate who's this guy, what is this request for, where this request is going to be routed. Everything will be taken by data power, and check the person he is giving any gun or anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's the security
Mm-hmm.
to save the user, which means to save the service or organization.
Mm-hmm.
It's everything taken care by data power.
Mm. I see. Okay.
You got it? You got some idea now?
Yeah. It's different because usually you see client browser to server, right? Web GUI type. Here it's different idea. It's more business to business. Yeah.
Yeah, even if you think about that, you are scheduling a third party transfer,
Mm-hmm.
right,
Mm-hmm.
from your bank. Why I'm giving a bank as even a lot of insurance domain companies are using that, but why I'm giving a use case from bank, That is the familiarity we are using day-to-day activity, right?
Yeah.
For example, you are scheduling a bill pay or scheduling your electric bill using your routing number and account number. It's not the immediate task, right? It's going to be a running a next batch job. So that's how collecting all the requests and it will boom and the nightly load. That's a different concept. That's called, you can still use DataPower for that, right?
Yeah.
Assume that I have a company called, I am a EB owner. I am a EB company. I have 100 clients. Okay. 20 clients set up the automatic payment from Bank of America. 40 clients set up the automatic payment from Chase. And other clients are set up the automatic deposit from other banks. I don't need to do it on the same time. Okay. So I will schedule it. So based on the nightly load, I will see what are the clients, which bank I need to call for the particular client with their account number, routing number. I will send the message to corresponding bank. So I will split out the traffic to all the, dynamically I will route the request to based on this client, based on how much the transaction amount, which bank I need to route it.
Okay.
So these are all dynamically I need to do it on job. Right? It's a called batch. The batch will do it from your company. But still you are going to put the message to Bank of America as a payment. So next day you come and log in your bank statement. It's saying that you can see the processing, or it may take 2 or 3 days to come into your bank account. Right?
Yeah.
These are all the use cases. You can think about how we can able to use it.
Right.
Got some idea?
Yeah.
I spoke too much today, no, right?
No, it's good.
Okay, that's fine. Now you have idea about why multi-protocol gateway, why XML firewall, and why web service proxy.
If I have, for example, if I have a mainframe system, right?
Okay.
And like some organization have mainframe, so we have some IMS based transaction which are in mainframe. And so today you use MQ or JMS to talk to mainframe.
Okay.
Right? And no data power, just the client comes, like a Java application comes in and puts the message in the JMS queue, and on the response you get back the message.
Yes.
Right? Now, if we want to use data power, I'm assuming you would be using this multi-protocol gateway in between?
Yes.
Okay. So in that architecture, you will have this multi-protocol gateway, and the client to multi-protocol gateway could be anything, could be REST base, right?
Yeah.
And as soon as the client in that case, if you have a mobile device, it puts a JSON or REST call that can be converted into, I don't know how it will talk to mainframe, but somehow it will talk to mainframe.
To COBOL format, and we can able to send message to MQ into COBOL format to talk to mainframe.
Okay. So would that message will be transferred to MQ, and then MQ is going to COBOL format, or the other way around?
Either way we can do it.
Okay.
Before going to mainframe, if you want to DataPower to handle the transformation, DataPower can happy to do that for you.
Okay. What would be the best practice? Like you call mainframe directly?
No. DataPower won't call mainframe directly. If you put the message on MQ and mainframe is going to take the message from MQ, then the message should be on COBOL format. That only message the mainframe will understand.
Okay.
if you have some other system which can able to do some transfer, but it's increasing the effort, right? Why I need another system? I know my DataPower has the capability to transfer. So why I am not utilizing it? Why I am passing the message to MQ and have another system to take the message and transfer into COBOL format and send it to IBM mainframe? Already I can able to do that in here, right? So it's a complex thing to answer yes or no. I can answer yes or no, but it's basically the architecture. If you say the architecture, we need to consider a lot of things.
Right.
It's not easy decision making. Okay.
Right. Yeah. So in your experience, you have seen the front end to the front end would be the RESTs, right? So
Yeah, in my experience, I could see the front end calls coming from as a REST. Basically, if you're using your, I hope you have installed your mobile banking app in your mobile.
Yeah.
So you're logging to your banking, online banking. At the same time, you're trying to log in your online banking through website as well. So totally website is different and mobile is different. So mobile is basically a JSON handling JSON messages. But your website might be using any XML or it might be any language or Java or something like that.
Right.
But it's going to call same web service for authentication.
Okay.
I don't need a do two different web service to for one is for GUI website and one is for mobile. Why I want to do it? I can have a one web service. So based on what is the message coming from, where is the message for, what is the message format, where is the message coming from? If the message coming from mobile as a JSON, as REST based, I will convert the REST message into a SOAP message, JSON into SOAP, and I can call the backend service to authenticate you.
Okay.
If it's coming from online, that's fine. It could be Java, it's going to be called direct web service. Let them do it. It's called coming as a SOAP. That's fine. I can able to authenticate you as well.
So in that case, DataPower would be, or in that case, you will have a service that can accept REST, JSON, or SOAP calls, right?
Yes.
So which protocol would that be? Web service proxy or multi-protocol?
That's what I told you. We are not. We are. It's very. It's very basic state we are in. To discuss about that topic, we need at least 3 or 4 days session.
Okay, that's fine. But it's just to imagination, right? Like, where do you see it?
Yeah. First, you understand each and every protocol.
Yeah.
And each and every protocol and what is its capability, what's and pros and cons, how we are implementing the services.
Okay.
Then you tell me which is the best approach.
Okay.
Then I will tell you yes or no.
Okay, makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
We did one big mistake here. I didn't told to forget. I forgot to told you.
Okay.
Can you tell me what mistake we did here? In default domain.
Default domain. Default domain was created on its own. We did not create.
Yes. So the biggest mistake here is we have created XML firewall and default domain.
Yeah.
So default domain is only for administration functionality, only for administrating the users and administrating the appliance. None of the services policies should be created in default domain.
Okay.
But we have created XML firewall here.
So what we did, creation of domain and creation of users, that's all done in default domain, right? First time type things.
Yes, right.
So like you showed me how to create user, how to go and change the access profiles and all that.
Yes.
that all is done only in default domain.
Yes.
Can you change the name of the default domain, or it will always stay the default?
No, you can't do.
Okay.
So we're creating a policies, XML firewalls, any services in default domain, it's not acceptable.
Okay.
So we should not do it. Okay. Let's go back and we will do a small exercise and close this today. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
We talk a little bit long today regarding some
theory, right? Theory.
But still, it's good topic, right?
Yeah. Of course, it's interesting topic.
Okay. And let's see. I will tell you. First, move your XML firewall to another domain.
How do?
It's not a good practice to do that.
Okay.
So you cannot move now. You need to go switch the domain and create a new XML firewall.
Okay, I will do that.
Yeah.
Log out.
Okay, do the same exercise today for you remember.
Okay, after you mean?
No. You can do it. We will finish now. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
We will close it today.
Okay.
Create a new XML firewall, which is going to call what is that? The backend web service. Okay.
Yeah.
Create a matching rule.
Within the same one or?
The same. I will tell you. Try to create that one. Okay. Open the notepad.
Okay.
So create XML firewall with two matching rules. Two matching rules means you can have one matching rule in one policy. One matching rule in one matching action in one rule. If you want to create two matching rules, you need to create two rules. Okay. I will tell you. Go to the DataPower. DataPower. So log in as admin. Let's see the same exercise. Forgot. I forgot to start the.
Default.
Yeah, log in. I will come back in a minute.
Okay.
Okay, it may take some time. I think I am not covered you properly. Okay.
Okay.
What I am suggesting is do the same exercise in another domain.
Okay.
Because this is not good time to give you exercise on a development mode because I need to cover some more details.
Okay. This action and processing policy, I don't think you have covered yet, right? Action, what is action? What is?
Yeah, that's what I am thinking.
Okay.
So I will cover tomorrow.
Okay. What time do you think I will create the firewall?
You create a firewall in any domain or domain 2. You can do it.
Okay.
We will end today.
Okay.
I will based on timing, basically the same time or little bit earlier, probably 6 or 5. I will ping me. Just WhatsApp, send a message. We will decide the timing.
5 or 6, right?
Yeah,
roughly.
6 roughly.
Okay, sounds good.
Might be I might take a nap in the afternoon.
Okay.
So once I got up, I don't know what time I am going to got up. So we will decide on the time. So we will start 6 at worst case 7. 5 to 7 we will start. Okay.
Okay, sounds good. Roughly, right? 5 to 7.
Yeah, roughly 5 to 7.
Okay, sounds good.
Your personal things and before 5 to 7. Okay.
Okay, I will.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, take care.
Hey, thanks. Bye.
Bye.